join me in greeting the 1989 Handicapped Women of Iowa pageant. For this evening, and our interpreter, Kathy Rapp, provided by the Deaf Services of Iowa. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you the gentleman from the city of Des Moines, giving us some remarks from the Mayor, Dorian, and the city of Des Moines. John Schneider is the city of Des Moines Handicapped Housing Coordinator since 1977. John is also the City of Des Moines Section 504 Coordinator. As Section 504 Coordinator, John is responsible for assisting city departments in providing accessible programs and facilities for the handicapped. John received something, John, I'm not sure here. John received his bachelor's degree from Ball State University and his bachelor's degree from Drake University. He is a disabled veteran and has been very active as a member of the wheelchair basketball team. John?
Can you hear me? Is this on? Yes. Is it on now? Fine. First of all, Contestants, welcome to you, and welcome to those both from Des Moines and those who traveled from afar, like Sioux City. Really, the reason I'm here is because the mayor had to leave town because he's getting a lot of bad press. So, I'm just kidding. Actually, the mayor's in Washington, D.C. and New York and trying to sell both the city and the state. And asked that I welcome you all here, and that's what I'm going to do. And to say that Mayor Dorian, while he may be new at the mayor, is committed to making the city accessible. And I think you're going to see some major changes within the next couple of years, starting with the Veterans Auditorium and very frankly, our terrible transportation system. So look for those changes to come. And on behalf of the mayor and the city of Des Moines, welcome. Thank you very much.
Before we move along to introduce the contestants to you, I'd like to make a few comments about the reason I'm here. Of course, Ron Carter, you probably all know Ron Carter. Ron has done this job as MC for many, many years, and of course he can't be here this evening due to another engagement. And of course I asked Ron, how do I handle this thing? And of course he says, well, look at the video from last year and just look like me. So my wife has been wondering why I've been drinking chocolate milk all day. And yesterday and last week I've been trying to darken myself a little bit. And the ladies last evening, we had a little workshop on makeup, and some wise lady, one of the contestants, mentioned something about the bags under my eyes, and she said, well, I know what to do about that. And of course, my wife this morning wondered why I had cucumbers on my eyes, because one of the contestants said I should put slices of cucumbers over my eyeballs, and that would reduce the bags under my eyes. And of course, my wife almost wondered what I've been doing last evening, and of course, I'd probably be wearing a cucumber in my eye when I got here. At this time, I'd like to have the contestants introduce themselves and their escorts. Bear with me a minute here. I'll sneak up here.
Hi, I'm Kathy Coyman from Des Moines, and my escort is Randy Cross. I'm Judy Donovan from Iowa City, and my escort is Sam Stout.
I'm Edna Rehans, and my escort is Tara Cook. I'm Pamela Hand. I'm from Cedar Rapids, and my escort is Brian Holtz.
My name is Sue Bowser, and I'm from Waterloo, and my escort told me that all I'd have to remember was Alan.
Hello, I'm Jenny Lush, and my escort is Doug Smith.
I'm Joan Turner from Des Moines, and my escort is Michael.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Kendall. I'm from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and my escort is Ron Sprague.
Hello, I'm Louise Krudoff from Sioux City, and my escort is Jerry Johnson.
Thank you, ladies. Once again, let's greet our contestants. At this time, I'd like the escorts to be dismissed and have a seat over in the north end of the building. Thank you. Let's give them a big hand. Of course, this lady, I got in trouble last night over this one. The next lady is going to be our speaker for the evening. And of course, Pam, you've got me in a little bit of trouble. I've been telling my wife I've been watching you every night. And of course, somebody blew it today and told me you're only on the weekends. So I'm in trouble. My wife's been asking where I've been watching you, and I had a hard time. Pam Dale is currently the meteorologist on Channel 5, and of course is a native Iowan, born in Hawarden, and it's the northwest corner of the state. And she graduated from the Iowa State University with a Bachelor of Science degree in meteorology. She is a full-time TV meteorologist. How do you say it, man? Great. That's what it is. Since 1987. Of course, Pam has been very helpful with our program. She's been involved in many of our workshops for the Handicapped Women of Iowa for many years, and we appreciate her very much. And of course, she was a contestant in this contest in 1984. Is that right, Pam? Have at it, Pam. Give us a weather report, a good one.
Well, thank you very much. And as a TV meteorologist, people always know what my forecasting is. And lucky today, it was a good forecast. Only I've been on vacation. I just got off vacation, so I have no idea what your forecast is for tomorrow. So don't ask me. Because as a meteorologist, we always we have to look at a bunch of different things. We don't just go outside, wet our finger, and say, oh, it's winds from the north and it's going to rain or something like that. We don't do that. There's a lot more involved in that. But I am very happy that it is a nice day today, because when I go out and give speeches or talks, whatever I do, it's always nice to have a nice day, because even though people know that we as meteorologists don't make the weather, if it's a bad day, like if it was in the wintertime or something and people would have to come out driving in the snow and ice and rain or whatever, they'd come up and they'd say, well, you had to speak today. You knew we had to speak. Why didn't you make it be a nice day, or something like that? So I'm glad it's nice today. I won't have any problems, anybody giving me any slack. But as a TV weather person, yeah, we get problems that people call us up about weather forecasts and say, well, you weren't exactly right that time. Well, that's a problem with being a weather person. And a second problem is that I'm in the public eye all the time. And I can't go anywhere without somebody recognizing me. And that's a good point, because that means that people are watching me on Channel 5, and I don't mind that at all. We need all the viewers we can get. But at the same time, it scared me a little bit as a person, as a disabled person, to be in a wheelchair and to get into television. So when I started out TV, I started out at WI. Well, actually, I started at Texas A&M. I went there for a year and a half and got a little bit of on-air experience there. But when I came up to Iowa State, this is like major market. Des Moines market is pretty large. It's the 66th market. In comparison, there it could be the 200th, which is the smallest. So it's a pretty good market to be starting out. And I knew I'd have a lot larger viewership than I had in Texas. So I was a little bit nervous, because I was wondering, what are people going to say when they see somebody in a wheelchair doing weather? I was stupid enough to think that, well, maybe the wheelchair would distract them if they saw it, or maybe that they'd say, this person's in a wheelchair, they're trying to tell me what the weather's going to be like. You got to be kidding. I was afraid of that. Those were stupid fears that I had. But in any case, when I started out, they were real. So at WI, when I started on air, I never showed the chair. That was not WI's doing. That was my own doing. I was afraid of what people were going to think, what the viewers were going to say if they saw me in a chair on television. I knew that if I'd go out in public, they would know that it was me, and then they'd realize that I was in a chair, and that was fine. But I was a little bit afraid to have them see it actually on the TV. So when I was going out in public, people would see me, and they would come up to me, and they would say, you know, you look just like that Pam Dale that works at Channel 5. And I kind of had to embarrass these people and say, well, yes, I am. But they really didn't realize that a person in a wheelchair could be doing weather on television. So we finally had to change the format, and now I have to move around on screen so you know that I'm in a wheelchair. Most people do anyway. Every once in a while I run across someone who still doesn't realize that I'm in a wheelchair. But there are a lot of really bold people out there that will come up to me and they'll just say, you know, I don't know these people, I've never seen them before, and they'll come up to me and they'll say, what's it like to be a disabled person? And I think, disabled me? Oh yeah, this wheelchair. Yeah, I guess you can call me disabled. I don't feel disabled. I've got a job in TV weather. I'm doing great. I don't feel like a disabled person, but yet I am a disabled person. And there are a lot of people who don't like the term disabled. They don't like the term handicapped. So I went and I looked in my dictionary, and you're going to have to trust me on this because my dictionary is too embarrassing to take along with me. I have a cat who doesn't speak, and since he can't speak, he thinks dictionaries aren't worthwhile, so he tore up about the first 20 pages of my dictionary. A little bit too embarrassing to show that to a bunch of people. So anyway, I looked up these things in my dictionary. Disabled. It says to make unable. Disabled, that's what disable means. And so, okay, unable, I looked up able. What does that mean? Able means having power or skill, in parentheses, to do something. So, okay, I don't have the power to walk, so that means I'm disabled. That's fine. So that term is fine. It fits in the dictionary. Well, okay, handicapped. A lot of people don't like that term. Handicapped, according to Mr. Webster, means those who are physically disabled or mentally retarded. Well, okay, I already decided I'm disabled, so I must also be handicapped. That's fine. But then there's a bunch of other terms that people have come up with, these nice little terms for a not-so-nice condition, like handicapable. That's not even in the dictionary. Or physically challenged. And, okay, that sounds nicer than disabled. Maybe you can say that, but I don't know. Talk to any mountain climber, I'd say that they're probably pretty physically challenged also. But they're different than us. So disabled people, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is that there are more disabled people, those in wheelchairs, those who are blind, whatever, in the United States. It seems like there seems to be more every year. Not only because of more accidents, but because people with disabilities are living a lot longer. And that's great, but at the same time, it's not so great because that means, well, basically, there are people that have to get around in wheelchairs in the United States. And that's too bad, but not only because we have all these problems with getting into places like stairs for those of us in wheelchairs, but the biggest problem with being disabled is other people's attitudes toward us. Because for myself, like I said earlier, I don't feel like I'm a disabled person. I really had no idea what it was like to be disabled until I had my own accident. About 8.5 years ago, I was riding a horse, the horse started to back up, and she went over backwards on top of me, and I broke my back. I'm a paraplegic, and I have no feeling or movement from the waist down. And before that time, I didn't even know anybody in a wheelchair. My junior high, my high school, nowhere did I even see anyone who was in a wheelchair, so I had no idea what it was like. But thankfully, when I had my accident, I had a very strong faith in God, and I had a very strong Christian family, and they were the people that really helped me to get through this. They helped me to get through the physical part of not being able to walk again. But once I got out on my own, into the public, I still run across plenty of people who have this attitude about disabled people, anyone who has a visible disability, that, well, they're a lower form of life. That was the hardest thing to adjust to. Getting around in a wheelchair and doing everything from a wheelchair was easy enough to adjust to, but it was the attitude of others that we have the biggest problem with. And that's why this pageant is so great, is that we have somebody, a real disabled person, getting out into the public and letting others know that to be disabled is, we're just like everybody else, we're just getting around a little bit differently. So things like this, to really educate the public, is what we really need. And the biggest thing about the disabled publicity is that they're saying, focus on the ability, focus on what people really can do. And actually, that's not a bad idea. Thank you all.
Thank you, Pam, for those inspirational words. I nearly got in trouble again, Pam. I forgot to introduce my wife. She's here tonight, my wife, Peter. Well, she's not really that's not her name, truly. That's our kind of affectionate name. Her real name is Dee, but her maiden name was Peterson, so I've nicknamed her Peter all my life, and of course she hates that. Understandably. At this time, I'd like to call on Jackie Smith, who is the chairperson for the judging for the judges. And Jackie, would you come up and introduce your fellow judges and give the criteria for the judging? Here comes the judge.
I would like to introduce our judging panel to you, beginning, well, on your left. Dr. Garen Milton, vocational counselor, Iowa Methodist Medical Center. Frank Strong, rehabilitation counselor, Iowa Commission for the Blind. Don Westergaard, administrator, Division of Persons with Disabilities. Eleanor Luce, Handicapped Woman of Iowa, 1986. We enjoyed ourselves today. We had a good time judging, and I hope the girls enjoyed themselves. They were with us for about 20 minutes, and it's kind of nerve-wracking to have the five of us sitting there looking at them, and they're wondering what we're going to say next. But we have a criteria that we follow. We don't have just a little, hi, how are you, we need rain, don't we? We talk to them and ask each of them questions that have to do with their biography. They send us that ahead of time, so we do know something about each of them before they come. But we follow this criteria. A possible 30 points is given for the ability to communicate. And usually the first question is asked about communication because they get the most points for that. And we say something like, if you were chosen to be Miss Handicapped Woman of Iowa, you would be asked to speak at service clubs, schools, and banquets. What would you want these people to know about disabled persons and why? On the endurance and capacity to travel, there is a possibility of 25 points. There, the judges are interested in whether they can get off work or away from school to travel and represent handicapped women across the state of Iowa at special events. Social confidence is 20 points. Ability to project a positive image is 15 points. And personal achievement is 10. We are interested in a contestant's ability, her positive attitude, and community involvement. At the end of the interview, each judge marks a scorecard for each girl. And tonight, a possible 10 more points will be added to that score after she answers a question from the fishbowl, which will take place a little later. The judges do not have an easy task. I hope next year that you can volunteer your time to be a judge because it is interesting, it's challenging, and a most enjoyable way to spend a weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. At this time, we're going to have the final part of the judging, and we'll call on Loretta, who's supposed to read the questions. We're going to have Lou, sorry about that, here you come. Lou has the questions in the bowl there, and the contestants are going to draw a question out of the bowl, and then I'll read it to them, and then they're going to answer to the best of their ability. And this is the final judging phases for the contestants. Thank you. Catherine, what in your opinion is the biggest misconception about people with disabilities?
I think the biggest misconception about people with disabilities are their abilities. They obviously like to form the opinion that we are not capable of doing anything. We're not able to fulfill any positions. And I disagree with that. I'm an artist and I get around town. And I know a lot of handicapped people that are very involved in the community and very involved with employment. I just think being unable is the last thing, because I think because we are disabled, we try 200%.
Judy, tell us what you have enjoyed doing the most in the 2 days you have been here and why.
What I enjoyed the most was getting to know each one of the contestants. I have a lovely daughter that everyone's always commenting on her outward beauty. I keep telling her that the true, real beauty comes within a person. And it was so exciting meeting all these contestants this weekend because each and every one truly had the outward and the inward beauty both.
Thank you, Judy. Edna Rehans. Okay, what do you feel is your best characteristic? She's a beautiful gal, and I think that go out to the next lady. Thank you, Edna. Pamela Hand. Pamela, let me read it to you. And I wouldn't be able to answer that one either, so don't feel bad. If you want to park in a handicapped parking space and it was occupied by a vehicle without the proper parking permit, what action would you take, Pamela?
That situation is very real to me. That has happened to me. If I'm not in a hurry, I wait for the person to come out. And then I step out of my car and I say, I wish you hadn't parked here. I'm really tired today, or I really needed to be in a hurry today, and I couldn't finish my shopping. Please think about it the next time you park in a handicapped parking spot. And then I thank them in advance for doing so, because I think they'll remember.
Sue Fauser, do you think attending this pageant will be helpful in the future to you?
Yes, I really think so, because it sort of, from talking to everybody else, it kind of builds up our confidence and makes us more aware of the disabilities that are out there.
Jenny Larson. Jenny, how did you find out about this pageant, and why did you want to become a contestant?
Well, I already said I read an ad in the paper. That's how I found out. But I really learned a lot and met a great number of people, so it's really been beneficial to me.
Thank you, Jenny. You can't sneak, Joan. I'll read it to you. I know, I'm just kidding you. If you showed up for a speaking engagement only to find the building not accessible, what would you do?
I guess get my husband take me in.
Not a bad idea. Sarah Kendall. Sarah, was there a turning point in your life that made it easier for you to accept your disability?
I feel the turning point in my life, since I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at the age of 4 days old, I felt the turning point in my life has been a continuous turning point from the time of the age of 4 days old all the way up to the present at the age of 29. And I feel, though, the biggest turning point in my life was when the gates of heaven opened for me at the age of 20, when I realized that the disabled person could go out and seek a future like myself as a registered nurse for now 7 years, and education was available to us, funding was available to us, assistance and help through other handicap associations like the CP Foundation, the Foundation for the Blind. These are the abilities that the disabled person can now receive, and I feel as a disabled woman, because of this, I no longer consider myself as a disabled person. Thank you very much.
Louise, would you advise a friend to enter the pageant next year, and why?
I would certainly advise anybody, any disabled woman, to enter this pageant, especially a friend. It was through a very dear friend of mine that I heard of this the very first time. And I have enjoyed it. This is my second year, and the reason I came back is I had such a good time last year. and I enjoyed it, and I have enjoyed myself this time also.
We've had a lot of fun this weekend. And of course, it's a great inspiration to listen to these ladies speak and talk about their disabilities and the things that they have, excuse me, I gotta find this thing over here. The accomplishments they have done in their lives, and I think of me being, not having a visible disability and the little things that I do in life, I think I'm overburdened, but of course when I spoke to some of these ladies, it's just overwhelming the types of things they have done and accomplished in their lives, and it's sure inspiring to me. At this time, we're going to dismiss the judges for their final tally. Judges, get out of here. We're going to proceed on with a few items here, and of course, we have to take up some time to allow the judges to make their decisions. At this time, I'm going to deviate from the schedule a bit, Loretta, and we're going to call on you to make some announcements and to acknowledge the board members. Okay. By the way, Loretta pretty soon will not be Loretta Tassin, she'll be Loretta Tempest. And about August 19th, we'll be married. John, would you raise your hand, please? You're the groom to be. Trying to convince them they should go to Hawaii, but in fact, I found a dime out in the hallway they give to John so he can have a down payment for his trip.
You're so generous, Bob. On behalf of the entire Miss Wheelchair Iowa Board of Directors, I'd like to welcome you here tonight. We're really pleased to see so many of you. We've worked very hard this last year to make this a special evening because we have a very special group of ladies up here, and we think they deserve only the best. We've had a good weekend so far. The women came in yesterday afternoon. We had an orientation session last night. Got to know each other a little bit. Got some makeup tips that we can all use. Today they've been in workshops and their sessions with the judges, and the weekend will end when they leave tomorrow noon. The judges really didn't bite, did they? They didn't bite at all. When we get to know these women each year, and we listen to all the things that they've done, all the things that they've had to overcome, all the things that they hope yet to do, it gives us a renewed sense of energy, and it reminds us why we worked so hard to put this pageant together. Because we as board members get every bit as much out of this as the women up on stage. And that's why we do it year after year. Because we're selfish and we do it for ourselves as much as you guys. The woman that the judges will select tonight will spend the next year traveling around the state, speaking to organizations, civic groups, different clubs, promoting accessibility, working very hard to remove architectural and attitudinal barriers. She urges other people, other disabled people, to get involved in their communities, because that's the only way we're going to be able to get things changed.
No one's going to be out there doing it for us. We have to be involved. We have to work to get these things done ourselves. The improvement of the quality of life for the disabled population is the biggest reason that Miss Wheelchair Iowa sponsors the Handicapped Woman of Iowa pageant. Miss Wheelchair Iowa is a nonprofit organization, and we get most of our funding through contributions. We do some fundraising on our own. We've sold so many little caramels we don't even want to think about it. The Hy-Vee store thinks we're a part of their staff, I think. But we keep right on selling, and we have a good time doing it. If we didn't, we wouldn't be back out there doing it year after year. Most of our funding, however, comes from organizations and people, friends of ours, sponsors. And on the back of your program, you'll see those people listed, those organizations. And we ask that whenever possible, you support them, because they are the people that support us. And we thank them, we appreciate all that they do for us. Also in your program, you'll notice there is a section on ambassadors. That's something new we've tried this year, because we have a little trouble from time to time getting our message out. The women's names that are listed in the program are former contestants who, when asked, would you be willing to help, responded and said, yes, we'd be more than happy to. So they've helped us this past year with publicity. They've helped us in getting applications out to contestants or anyone interested in the program. And they've helped us with some fundraising. So we really appreciate what they've been able to do for us. Are any of our ambassadors here tonight? I know Donna Bosma is here somewhere. Donna, where are you? Donna was Handicapped Woman of Iowa, what, 87? My memory is not gone yet, is it? A couple other ambassadors are involved in the program. Eleanor Luce, who is a judge. Pam Dale, you've heard. I'm being waved at. Why am I being waved at?
I'm sitting down here to read it behind other people.
Joyce Packwood?
Yeah.
Is that you?
I'm here.
You're too short back there.
Well, I'm 5'8", but I shrunk.
Okay. We got to get you a higher wheelchair.
I'm on my knees now.
In any event, we do appreciate all their assistance. Now, you've met the contestants, you've met the judges, you've met a couple ambassadors. Now I want you to meet the people that make tonight possible. I've worked with different groups, and I have to admit, I don't want these people to get a big head, but I have to admit this is the greatest group that I've ever worked with. It makes it all fun. They make it fun. We have a good time no matter whether we're freezing our tails selling caramels or whether we're in our board meetings trying to figure out how we're going to pay the bill when we leave this hotel. But somehow it all comes together, and they're the ones that help make it work. First, the gentleman you've been hearing all night, and I use that term loosely. Bob Stebbin is our president in charge of Vice president of Miss Wheelchair Iowa, the man that's been keeping our program rolling tonight. This is his first time as MC here, and he told me last night, I'm so scared, I'm so nervous. This is the man that goes hunting and shoots himself in the foot. And he's not afraid to go back out hunting again, but he's afraid to stand up in front of you people. I don't understand it. You want to come up here? These people keep trying to hide. They keep trying to hide in the back of the room. And I told them last year, if I have to be up here, you do too. Carol Miracle. Where are you, Carol? You want to come on up? Carol is our secretary and has really been my right hand this last year. Whenever there's been something to do, Carol's there volunteering before you even have to ask for volunteers. I sometimes wonder, I won't say that. I was going to say, I wonder if she has good sense sometimes. I thank God she's with us, and we really enjoy her. Our treasurer, Mark Grimm, could not be here tonight. He's a new daddy and thought he better be elsewhere. Then we have the woman who has been with us for many years, Ann Kopic, the woman who has all the answers. Sometimes before we even have a question, Ann has an answer. She didn't want to come up here, I can tell by the look on her face. Ann's been on our board for many, many years, and her expertise is invaluable. Next we have Polly Lynch. Polly is the lady who keeps asking us how we're going to do that. Where is the money going to come from? Bob hasn't tripped over the cord. I'm so proud of it. Okay, that's true. I might tell him that. I should tell you that Ann and Polly are sisters. So see, it's a family operation. Then we have, well, how do I want to say this? Mr. Properties. There is no other way to say this. When you put a function together like this, someone has to be responsible. Someone has to be there to coordinate the whole thing and keep track of the many little things that have to be done. And they have to be able to answer when you say, where are the flowers? Where are the pins? Where is this? Where is that? Lou Verling is that man. He's been Mr. Properties for a couple years now. And we love him dearly. But I promise, Lou, in front of God and everybody, if you don't want to be Mr. Properties next year, we'll see what we can work out. Yeah, you won't hear that more than once. Okay, Ron Carter is not here yet, is he? He was not able to make it, as Bob explained. Maybe he'll be able to be here later. We've added some new blood to our board this year, and it's been like a breath of fresh air. Chris Morgan. Chris has done a lot to help us this past year with our publicity. She's with the Skywalker. Oh, okay. We have Lona Hanson. No. Lona's been having some mobility problems here this year, but she's about got them whipped. Tim Gracie. Yeah, come on down. These four new people we've added this year, they're still wondering, my God, what did we get into? But we have a good time, and these are the people that make this pageant possible, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. The Miss Wilshire, Iowa Board of Directors.
Thank you, Loretta. At this time, we're going to go back to the contestants again and have them introduce their members of their family or friends that are present with them tonight.
I pretty much have my family here, and I'd like to thank my mom and dad who have always been a constant support for me. And my little sister has been my backbone throughout this whole thing. When my nerves were frayed, she tied it back together. And my Aunt Leona's here, and she's been through the whole thing. And last but not least, my good friend Bill, who's gotten me through a lot. It's been a very good
tonight, but my husband and my son Danny's in Iowa City, and our daughter's in New York, and I'm planning a wedding for her in Iowa City, so she's in New York, unable to join us.
And my mom, Dorothy, and my brother Alan and Craig are in the back row.
I feel real fortunate to have such a big support system. First of all, my biggest supporter is my husband, Buzz. I don't know who to choose next. I got two sets of moms and dads here. I guess I'll pick my own first. My parents, Corey and Kathleen Abernathy. My other set of parents that I couldn't live without either. That's my in-laws from Winnie's Hand. My sister-in-law, Rosie. My nieces, Kayla and Vanessa. And last but not least, my nephew, Sean.
Okay, next we have, don't blow it now, Bob, Sue Fauser.
I have my faithful companion that's helped me through this weekend, Joanne Loy, and my two sisters, Jenny Weber, Marcia Weber, and my niece, Angie.
Okay, Jenny Larson.
I have my companion and my daughter, Sally Rickard.
Joan Turner.
My husband of 30 years, and my daughter and her soon-to-be husband.
Sarah Kendall.
I had my brother Jim Valentine here, and my family was unable to come, but they were my big support through my entire disability.
Louise Goodall.
My husband Kenneth is here, and on April 25th, we will be married 42 years.
Okay, let's go on with the program here, and we'll ask our lovely pianist and to come to the piano, please, and to accompany Nancy Judge, who's going to sing a piece for us this evening. Nancy Judge.
So many nights I'd sit by my window waiting for someone to sing me his song. So many dreams I kept deep inside me, alone in the dark. But now you've come along, and you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my days and fill my nights with song. Rolling at sea, adrift on the waters. Could it be finally I'm turning for home? Finally a chance to say, hey, I love you. Never again to be alone. And you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my days and fill my nights with song. It can't be wrong when it feels so right. 'Cause you light up my life.
Thank you, Nancy. That was lovely. Alma, thank you. Okay, let's just speed along a little bit here, and this time I'm going to go across the podium or the platform very carefully, and we're going to talk to Krista. Krista Schmidt was the winner last year of the Miss Wheelchair Iowa. We're going to hear a few comments from her. Krista is a school teacher up in, where is that? Orange City. That's very Monday day. And she's been a lovely day for us and to spread the word and the needs of the disabled.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here again tonight and to see so many lovely contestants, and I wish you all the best as the judges will be pronouncing their judgment real soon. I have my family with me also tonight. My father and my mother and my little sister. They're back there on the left, my left at least. I've had a really good year being Miss Handicapped Woman of Iowa. I've had a lot of experiences in meeting different people, and that's been a lot of fun. And also I've been having a lot of fun just making people more aware of the disabilities and making people more aware of the accessibility needs that the handicapped people do need. And I just want to thank the board members and also the people who voted for me last year. And I had a great year, and thank you for the opportunity to represent Iowa, handicapped women of Iowa.
You want to keep that in there. Thank you, Krista. Now as I get back to this spot over here without breaking my neck. Come on over here. Excuse me, I gotta go. There's a lot of that. Okay, at this time I want to introduce to you Tim Gracie, one of the board members that you met earlier, and Tim is to present the ladies on the platform with pins that denote that they were contestants in the Handicapped Women of Iowa pageant this year. And it states 1989 on them, and Tim may proceed. This is a little memento for them to remember the 3 days that they're going to be here. They'll be here tomorrow yet until about noon. Kim is a new board member, and of course has been a tremendous inspiration to us and is very involved in creating new ideas for us. Okay. I think I became much more aware of the needs of the handicapped when I moved to Iowa some 15 years ago. My wife and I moved here. I guess she came with me. But anyway, our neighbors are deaf, and of course, it was frightening at first for us to learn to greet them and meet them because it was a scary feeling, because how do I communicate with these people? They can't hear me, and the old cliche, deaf and dumb, came into play, and that's all I thought about. And of course, I found out later that they don't bite, and of course they taught us sign language, and I became involved in interpreting for them for employment. And of course, Kathy, the lady next door, Kathy Telsky, now works at the federal building for the Veterans Administration, and I was instrumental in interpreting for her when she interviewed for the job. And it was so crazy because the individual that interviewed her, a lawyer, a man of a lot of degrees, on the side asked me if she could count and if she was dumb. And I almost fell off the chair because I knew Kathy well, and of course she has made great strides, and she's received many awards, and they've made many provisions for her. She's not able to communicate on the telephone, but they made arrangements for her to have someone do the telephoning for her, and she continually receives awards for being outstanding employee at the federal building. And that was the first time the Veterans Administration hired somebody of that type of handicap, and so I was very proud to see that happen. Kim, are you done yet? Okay. I thought maybe you pocketed some of those. This time we're going to announce a winner of Miss Compatibility. And we're going to announce that. And we're going to announce that. And Miss Compatibility is chosen and selected by her compatriots up here. One of the ladies themselves do the judging and pick one of the individuals that exemplified congeniality and friendliness and cooperativeness and a positive attitude during their stay here. Now, do we have the name yet, Loretta? Okay, I've got it too. It's Catherine Kuhlman. Okay, thank you. At this time, I'm going to call on Polly Lynch, board member, to present a bouquet of roses. Your turn, Carol. Okay, Annabelle's going to present a plaque to Catherine. After all that, will you talk to us?
I guess I should, since I got roses for it. Well, I really enjoyed meeting all the contestants. I've made a couple good, and I hope lasting friends. It's really been a fun weekend, and I thank the hotel, and I thank the Handicapped Association of Iowa. They've done a wonderful presentation here, and I wish everyone luck.
Okay, the envelope, please. No, but I've always dreamed of doing this. Bob Barker and I can't believe it. I think we'll cancel this and do it next year. We're just gonna forget about it. Oh, do I have to announce it, really? Well, okay, let's get on with it. The judges have selected Catherine Kluman.
Sheriff, watch this closely. We have to guard this thing.
Catherine, congratulations to you. At this time, we'll call on Carol Miracle. This time, Carol, do your thing. Board member will pin on a sash. Last year I totally yelled I stuck the lady. Of course I stuck, didn't I?
Yeah.
Careful now, Chris. Okay. Now this is probably the second or third year that Miss Congeniality and Miss Handicapped Woman of Iowa has been selected at the same time. Both awards. And I don't think it's ever happened before, did it, Loretta? Last year it happened, and the year before, and then this year. Before that time, this time, right? Okay, she's putting those pins on her now. Okay, from there we're going to give her $1 million. Someday. That's right, we're going to sell more caramels. We're going to take a collection in here. So we have some ushers going to pass the plate around here pretty soon. At this time, I'd like to call on Lou Verling for introduction and a presentation of a gift.
Loretta has already called your attention to the fact that we have many sponsors and contributors who are listed on the back of the pageant brochure. One of the nice things about doing a project like this is that we have so many people come forward who want to contribute, who want to be a part of what we're doing. One of those individuals has been with us now for at least 4 years in providing gifts to the winner. And she is with us again this evening. Faye Villamick of Villamick Gift Shop in the Drake area. Faye, would you come forward, please?
And lo and behold, my brother arrived. My brother Ron Carter, you snuck in. You rascal, I talked to them about the chocolate milk I've been drinking. They said, "Does it look like you?" And I've been drinking, and well, it didn't work too well. Ron Carter has been the MC for several years, and of course he couldn't be here earlier, and he's here now in living color.
Thanks very much. I'm certainly glad to have the opportunity to be back. I've never missed one since I have become a board member, and I certainly would have been remiss had I missed this beautiful pageant and workshop and all the efforts that went into it to make this come to fruition like it has. Indeed, it's always been a pleasure for me because I've always said that those of us who have something to share with others should share it. Because I remember an old biblical scripture that I once read that said that if you have a talent or you light your candle and put it under a basket, it does not give the light to anyone. But if we have something that we can share with others, we can put it on a candlestick where it can shine out and reach out and help everyone. And the beautiful thing about working with handicapped people, and really we look around what really is handicapped. If you wear glasses, all my teeth used to belong to me. You know, there's a lot of things that can cause one to be handicapped. But these people are just beautiful, and they're very special people because not only did they come out in their time and their efforts and so forth to make this program what it is. One of these ladies, and we already have the lady in the person of Catherine, who is going to be the spokesperson and the representative of concern for handicapped people in the state of Iowa. And you know, I really feel, I'm a transplant in Missouri, but I've been here since 1944, and I believe that Iowa is on the threshold of becoming one of the greatest states in the 50 United States, simply because we have the concerns, and we are concerned about our fellow men and our fellow ladies. And this is what it's all about, that reaching out and touching someone to enrich and make their lives a little sweeter than it was the day before. And tonight, I think all of you are a little richer and a little sweeter for having participated in this program today. I'm not the keynote speaker. Just give me a mic, though. I don't know when to shut up. But it's such a beautiful thing, and I really love it. It's to see the signing here and see our deaf loved ones with us. It's just beautiful that we can all get together. If this could spread out throughout the United States, wouldn't it be a beautiful thing? I'm not going to say anymore. John just pulled my coat down. And I'm sorry I missed his intro tonight. But I do have from Madeline Shepard, one of the most exclusive ladies shops in the city of Des Moines, a gift certificate that we want to present. And I keep telling Madeline I would certainly like for her to come, but she's a very, very busy lady, a very gracious lady, but she is concerned and wants to make sure that the program is a success. So she always sends a little gift certificate, and she'll welcome you, Catherine, with open arms. So here's a little certificate from Madeline. Also have some luggage there. And to all of the Deputy Sheriff's Department, the Sheriff's Department over there, fellows, ladies, it's really great to see you back again. I know the first time that you came to the pageant, and I drove up, that was out to Howard Johnson on Mill Hay, and I seen all those sheriff cars out there. Fellas, you know how close I came to just keep on moving on. But it's really nice to have you, and we certainly appreciate your help. Now I'm back to Bob. Thanks very much.
The Bob and Ron show. Okay, let's have some comments from Catherine at this time. Catherine?
I realized that I had forgotten a very important friend that's with me tonight, the lady that got me involved in Handicapped Woman of Iowa. And this is the director of Very Special Arts of Iowa, Sue Jensen. And stand up, Sue. State of Iowa and hopefully beyond.
Well,
to make their way up to the platform to escort their contestants out. I want to tell all of you thank you for coming. We're going to have a reception following in the back room here someplace, right, Lou? We're going to have tea and crumpets, is that what they call it, Loretta? And I want you to greet the ladies. We're going to have a receiving line there for them. We want to thank the Alma for coming and graciously every year and playing the piano for us, and the Kathy, Rapp, the interpreter, and the judges for doing their hard work and taking time out to do this work. It's been quite active for them. And a special thanks I want to give to Loretta Tassin, the president of the board, and without Loretta and her drive to head forward and to get us involved in assisting with this program and encouraging people to recognize the needs of the disabled, it wouldn't be possible. Loretta, thank you very much. If you have not registered in when you arrive, we'd appreciate it if you would register on the way out. Lunch and coffee, cookies in the back room.
Well, great seeing you. 3 years. I didn't know you were. Did you win when you ran?
Okay, everybody, up here. Wait. That's one. Now you can do anything you want to do on this one. Like this. 1, 2, do whatever you want to do. Don't just sit there and look like, yeah, I got you. No.
Got some refreshments.
Come on. There you go. There you go. There you go. Now all you guys got to use it.
Let these go.
Isn't she like a rosebud?
Get rolling.